What if the life you've always dreamed of isn't as far away as it seems? What if the success, wealth, and freedom you crave aren't tied to luck, connections, or timing, but to a shift in mindset and strategy? For so many people, prosperity feels like a moving target. They work harder, push longer, and yet find themselves stuck in the same cycles. Financial stress, lack of direction, and a nagging sense that life could be more. The truth is, most people aren't lacking potential, they're lacking a clear path forward. Deep down, there's a voice that says you're meant for more. But between that voice and the reality you're living is a wall built from doubt, fear, and outdated beliefs. That wall doesn't fall with motivation alone. It takes breakthrough strategies, inner transformation, and the courage to challenge everything you've accepted as normal. Because the truth is, what we tolerate becomes our standard. And until we raise that standard, prosperity remains just out of reach. Imagine waking up every day with clarity. Imagine operating from power instead of pressure, from purpose instead of survival. Picture building a life where your income reflects your value, your relationships reflect your vision, and your time is truly your own. That life isn't a fantasy, it's a formula. And once you learn the rules, you can rewrite the game. This is your chance to break through the mental and emotional barriers that have kept you playing small. The tools exist, the path is proven, all that's missing is your decision to step into it. If you're ready to trade frustration for freedom and limitations for limitless potential, it starts now with a single choice that changes everything. Prosperity is more than just a number in a bank account. It's the freedom to live life on your own terms, the ability to pursue passions without restriction, and the confidence that comes from knowing you are in control of your future. Yet for many people, prosperity feels like a distant dream, something others achieve while they remain stuck in a cycle of working hard with little to show for it. This disconnect isn't because they lack ambition or intelligence. It's because they've never been shown a strategy that bridges the gap between where they are and where they want to be. Every day, people operate based on patterns, ways of thinking, reacting, and making decisions that were shaped long ago, often unconsciously. These patterns determine everything from how they handle money to how they face challenges. And unless those patterns are examined and reshaped, the results remain the same. People may set goals, read books, or attend seminars, but without lasting change at the core, progress is temporary at best. Prosperity begins with clarity. Clarity about what you want, why you want it, and what's been holding you back. It grows through intentional choices and the willingness to break old habits that no longer serve you. More importantly, it requires a shift in identity, seeing yourself not as someone trying to succeed, but as someone who is already capable, already worthy, and already equipped with everything needed to thrive. This shift isn't about hype or blind positivity. It's about grounding yourself in truth, taking responsibility for your life, and choosing to operate from a place of empowerment rather than scarcity. The tools for prosperity are available to anyone willing to learn and apply them. They're not reserved for the privileged few. They're accessible to all who are ready to break through. In the journey ahead, we'll explore what holds people back from true prosperity and uncover the strategies that create real, lasting transformation. You'll discover that prosperity isn't built in one big leap, but through small, consistent decisions aligned with a bigger vision. You don't need to wait for the perfect moment or have all the answers. You just need to be willing to start right where you are with what you have, because the moment you decide to shift your mindset and take bold, focused action, you've already taken the first step toward a life of true prosperity. For many people, prosperity remains an elusive goal, something they hope for rather than experience. Despite working long hours, sacrificing personal time, and trying to do everything right, they often find themselves stuck in the same financial struggles, emotional frustration, and unfulfilled routines. The problem isn't just external, it's internal. It's rooted in deeply ingrained beliefs, outdated patterns, and a lack of clear, effective strategies for personal and financial growth. The real challenge begins with how people are conditioned to think about success. From a young age, they are taught to play it safe, to avoid risks, and to settle for what seems realistic. As a result, dreams are downsized to fit a limited view of what's possible. People begin to believe that prosperity is only for the lucky, the connected, or those born into privilege. Over time, these beliefs solidify into invisible walls that dictate choices and limit outcomes. Without realizing it, many fall into the trap of routine survival, working just to get by, spending more than they earn, and relying on short bursts of motivation rather than sustainable habits. They live in reaction mode, constantly putting out fires instead of building a future. Fear of failure, fear of judgment, and fear of the unknown becomes stronger than the desire for change. And as fear grows, confidence shrinks. One of the biggest obstacles is the lack of a clear roadmap. People are overwhelmed by information but lack transformation. They consume advice but struggle with execution. They aim for results but lack a system that connects their vision to daily action. Without structure, even the most determined efforts fade over time. This creates a cycle: high hopes followed by disappointment, repeated efforts followed by burnout. Eventually, people stop believing change is possible. They settle, not because they want to, but because they don't see another way. The challenge is not the absence of opportunity, but the presence of limiting beliefs, emotional resistance, and unclear direction. What's needed is not just more effort, but a different approach, one that replaces confusion with clarity, fear with courage, and limitation with empowered action. Breaking free from this pattern requires more than desire. It demands a shift in mindset, strategy, and identity. Until that shift happens, true prosperity will remain just beyond reach. No matter how hard someone tries, the question is not whether the breakthrough is possible, but whether one is ready to rise above the barriers that have been holding them back for far too long. Unlocking prosperity begins with a shift in how we think, feel, and respond to the world around us. Most people are conditioned to believe that success is external, achieved through circumstances, luck, or hard work alone. But lasting prosperity is built from the inside out. It starts with mindset, develops through behavior, and solidifies through consistent, intentional action. The first essential step is understanding the power of state, your emotional and mental condition at any given moment. When you're stressed, fearful, or overwhelmed, your decision-making suffers. You operate from a place of defense rather than possibility. But when you learn how to manage your internal state through movement, focus, and intentional language, you begin to access clarity, confidence, and creativity. These internal shifts lay the foundation for smarter choices and stronger momentum. Another core element is the ability to challenge and reshape limiting beliefs. These beliefs are often formed early in life through experiences, culture, or repeated messages. Statements like, "I'm not good with money," "success is for other people," or "I always fail," run beneath the surface and quietly influence behavior. The key is to bring them to the surface, question their validity, and replace them with empowering beliefs that align with your goals. Belief drives behavior, and behavior drives results. Next comes strategic action. Many people stay busy, but aren't necessarily productive. They confuse movement with progress. Prosperity grows when effort is directed by a clear vision and a practical step-by-step plan, identifying priorities, breaking goals into daily habits, and tracking progress are essential. Small, consistent wins create momentum, and momentum builds confidence. Environment also plays a major role. Surrounding yourself with people who elevate your thinking, challenge your comfort zones, and support your growth accelerates transformation. Success becomes normal when you're in the right company. Proximity to growth-minded individuals has a profound effect on belief systems and standards. Finally, prosperity requires a compelling purpose. Money alone won't sustain motivation, but when your goals are connected to a greater mission, whether it's providing for family, creating freedom, or making an impact, your drive deepens. Purpose fuels perseverance. This process isn't about perfection. It's about progress. It's about shifting from living by default to living by design. Each new belief, each intentional choice, and each act of courage contributes to building a life that reflects not only what you desire, but also who you are becoming in the process. Prosperity is never just a destination. It's a transformation. There comes a defining moment in every journey toward prosperity, a point when everything inside shifts and the path forward becomes clear. It's not marked by a sudden windfall or an external event, but by a deep internal realization, the understanding that change starts with you and that you alone hold the power to shape your destiny. This moment often follows a period of struggle, frustration, or feeling stuck, when the old ways no longer serve and the pain of remaining the same outweighs the fear of change. At this crossroads, hesitation fades and commitment takes its place. It's the moment when you decide to stop making excuses, stop blaming circumstances or others, and instead take full responsibility for your life. You recognize that waiting for the perfect conditions is a trap, and that the perfect time to act is now. This shift from passivity to ownership is the gateway to transformation. In this key moment, your mindset changes from one of limitation to one of possibility. You begin to see challenges as opportunities to grow rather than obstacles to fear. You understand that setbacks are not failures, but lessons, valuable feedback that guides your next steps. This new perspective empowers you to face discomfort, uncertainty, and risk with resilience and confidence. Action follows naturally from this awakening. You start taking deliberate steps toward your goals, no longer overwhelmed by the big picture, but focused on consistent progress. Each small victory fuels your momentum, reinforcing your belief that success is not just possible, but inevitable. The fear that once held you back loses its grip, replaced by a growing sense of purpose and determination. This pivotal moment often involves reaching out for guidance, seeking out mentors or communities that support your growth, and aligning yourself with positive influences. You understand the importance of surrounding yourself with people who elevate your thinking and hold you accountable. This new environment further accelerates your progress and deepens your commitment. Ultimately, this breakthrough moment is about transformation at the core. Changing not just your circumstances, but your identity. You no longer see yourself as someone who struggles or falls short, but as someone capable, resourceful, and worthy of prosperity. It is the point where your story shifts from one of limitation to one of limitless potential. From here, the journey forward is fueled by clarity, courage, and an unwavering commitment to create the life you desire. True prosperity is not the product of luck or mere circumstance. It is the result of deliberate transformation and consistent effort rooted in a clear, empowered mindset. Throughout this journey, the most profound realization is that lasting success comes from within. When your thoughts, beliefs, and emotional patterns align with your goals, external achievements naturally follow. Prosperity is less about the environment you are in and more about how you navigate it with purpose and resilience. By embracing personal responsibility and ownership of your choices, you shift from being a passive observer of your life to an active creator. This shift is pivotal because it opens the door to new possibilities. Instead of feeling trapped by past mistakes or limitations, you start to see them as lessons, tools that help refine your path rather than barriers that block it. Every setback becomes a stepping stone, and every challenge a chance to grow stronger. The journey toward prosperity also requires clarity about what you truly want, why you want it, and the values that drive you. Without a compelling vision, it's easy to lose focus or settle for less than what you deserve. A strong purpose fuels persistence through obstacles and keeps you anchored during uncertain times. It transforms goals from vague wishes into actionable missions. Equally important is the consistent application of focused action. Movement without direction rarely leads to meaningful results. Small, intentional steps build momentum and cultivate habits that sustain progress over the long term. These habits create a positive feedback loop. The more you act in alignment with your vision, the more confidence you gain and the more motivated you become to continue. Surrounding yourself with supportive, growth-oriented individuals further amplifies this process. The right environment nurtures your aspirations and holds you accountable while also exposing you to new ideas and opportunities. Connection and community become vital catalysts for change. Ultimately, prosperity is a holistic state balancing financial abundance with emotional fulfillment and purposeful living. It's about creating a life where you feel empowered, joyful, and free to pursue what matters most. The blueprint to reach this state is available to anyone willing to embrace change, commit to personal growth, and take consistent, aligned action. Your breakthrough awaits when you decide to step beyond fear, rewrite old narratives, and claim the potential that has always been within you. The path to lasting prosperity is not a distant dream, but a choice you make today, one that leads to a richer, fuller life in every sense. Now is the time to take control of your future and step into the life you've always imagined. The knowledge and strategies for breakthrough and prosperity are within your reach, but they will only transform your life if you decide to act. This moment presents a choice to continue on the same path that keeps you stuck, or to commit to a new way of thinking, feeling, and doing that leads to lasting success. Start by becoming aware of the beliefs and habits that have held you back. Take a moment to reflect honestly on the stories you tell yourself about money, success, and your own potential. Are those stories empowering you, or are they keeping you small? Writing these down can bring clarity and help you begin the process of replacing limiting beliefs with empowering ones that support your vision. Next, define your vision clearly. What does prosperity mean to you personally? How will your life change when you reach your goals? Connect with the deeper reasons behind your desires, whether it's freedom, security, impact, or joy. A compelling purpose will fuel your motivation through challenges and keep you aligned with what truly matters. Then take action. No matter how small, action builds momentum, and momentum leads to results. Break your goals into manageable steps and commit to consistent progress every day. It's not about perfection, it's about movement. Celebrate each win, learn from setbacks, and adjust your approach as you grow. Surround yourself with positive influences who challenge and support you. Seek out mentors, peers, or communities aligned with your aspirations. The people you spend time with shape your mindset and habits more than you realize. Choose relationships that inspire growth and hold you accountable to your highest standards. Finally, commit to lifelong learning and personal development. Breakthroughs don't happen once. They happen repeatedly when you adopt a mindset of constant and never-ending improvement. Embrace challenges as opportunities to expand and keep refining your strategies to create lasting success. Remember, prosperity is a journey that begins with a single decision: to stop settling and start building the life you deserve. Your breakthrough is waiting on the other side of commitment. Choose today to step forward with courage, clarity, and determination. The life you desire is possible, and it starts with you taking that first powerful step.